fundamentals. So everyone's individual development and that process, to me, that's at the top of the list for me. As far as one player versus another, or you mentioned Prince versus Webb, I think everything's case by case. Yes, you always want to develop, young players, but you want to develop all the players on your team, and you want to. Every week we're going to try to give ourselves the best chance, or what we feel is the best chance to win the game. So all those things you take into account. I don't think there's a specific set way for anyone. I would say for me personally and our coaching staff, there's not a set, specific, hey, we definitely want to do this, or we definitely want to do this. I think every week we try to, put this team in the best position to win. But I think the process of going through that is, the utmost importance for this group. Development is very important. I think we're trying to do that at all positions. But look, these guys work extremely hard, and we're going to try to put the best players out there we feel can help us win.
Brian,
I don't know if did I miss anything there?
you should have written down. So
I didn't know what I was getting there. Next time I will.
Daniel Kilgore, I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
He told everyone that the perception of this team, whatever terminology is being used, tanking, rebuilding, is not there. That these guys, he says we, players, we go out to win and we work our backsides off every day. Do you like the fire in someone like that, one of your captains, to go out there and say that?
I think that's the approach you need to have, and I think that's the approach that we have as a total team. Yeah, I like that. I mean, what coach wouldn't want that? But I think that's to me, that's standard operating procedure for any player in this league. Kilgore works every day. The game's important to him. It's important to everybody in that locker room. So it doesn't surprise me at all. I think that's how this team's wired. We go out and try to win every game, but that really starts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Practice, meetings. Well, that's where it starts, and I think that's what he meant by working every day to try to improve, get better, and really execute on a consistent basis.
But when the approach isn't backed up with results, how do you continue to reinforce that, hey, we're doing the right thing? Because you guys haven't been competitive in the game yet.
I think, at the end of the day, that process, and, maybe that process needs to change. But I think from a work standpoint, from a trying to improve, get better standpoint, that's the only way I know. And I think continually getting better in practice, continually working to improve your execution, continually working to improve the communication. From my experience over time, that works, and we'll continue to do that. And I've seen that from this team, and I think that's what Kilgore was kind of mentioning, is that I think you see some of those things on a daily basis, and if we just continue to do that, and the process is right, the results will, they normally take care of themselves.
Regarding veteran leadership on this team, I'm wondering what you're seeing, whether it's more pronounced because it is such a young team, or whether it's a little more laid back because these guys haven't been together for very long, or is it about what you see?
I've said this before. Leadership to me is, guys, if you work hard and you put the team first, you show leadership. I think we have some older players, whether it's Bobby or Kilgore or some young players from Christian Wilkins to Baker to Walt Aiken. I mean, we've got guys who love to play. It's important to them, and they do all the things that necessary to lead a group, to lead a group of individuals. So I think all those guys, I mentioned, along with a lot of players on this team who are doing all the right things. Really, it's a team of teams. You need leaders really across the board. So your nickel group, your dime group, your 11 personnel group offensively, your kickoff, coverage unit. So you need leaders really across the board. So, it's something we try to develop on a daily basis, something we talk about. And I think we're getting, better in that department, and hopefully it improves over the course of the season.
And leadership, a lot of leadership is developed by making plays on the field. How is that going with this team?
I would say leadership. I mean, a lot of people say that it's developed by making plays on the field. Well, playmaking is developed by making plays on the field. Leadership, to me, happens, behind the scenes, and it's, the preparation on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and normally when that process is right, then you end up making plays on Sunday, and that kind of the whole thing comes together. I think a guy goes out there, you get a tip ball and he catches a couple interceptions. That doesn't really necessarily make him a leader, in my opinion, at least. So, I think it's something you develop, and it's something, leadership is something you do every day. It's not, a one-off. So that's kind of been my opinion and my approach and my message to the guys who have that type of potential on this team.
What ways has coaching, I guess, this younger Dolphins team been for you than, I guess, more veteran Patriot teams in the past?
What was the question again?
In what ways has it been different for you to coach this younger Dolphins team than, older Patriot teams that you've had in the past?
I've coached a lot of young players, guys who were young, guys who, weren't familiar with, a standard or a process or a way to be a professional. I think that's part of coaching, is helping young players do that. I think that, the places, I was in New England last, and I think it's something that you try to develop. And, it's not something that happens overnight. Something you develop over time, and I think it's it's something we're building towards here. So this is a young team. There's a lot of guys who are eager and willing and want to do it the right way, and I think that's what you're looking for more than anything. And I think if they continue to, work on that or work in that with that, eagerness to do it right, I think over time, the leadership will develop.
Brian, yesterday Bobby McCain said something that kind of caught my eye. He said, as a team, we've got to bring more energy when guys make plays. That's understandable when you're 0-4 and everything, but still, you've got a job to do, so we've got to bring more energy. What's your reaction to that?
I think energy, enthusiasm, urgency, all those things are important to a football team, and Bobby knows that. We talk about leadership, and he, that's something that we've talked about as a team. I think we need a lot of things. We need more energy, more enthusiasm, more urgency, more execution. I see where he's coming from. I think more energy comes from better execution, and when you have better execution, you make more plays, and when you make more plays, there's more energy. So there's a little bit of there's a process to that. So we just got to get better with the process, and I think there was a lot of energy in practice yesterday. I expect there'll be some more today, and hopefully that builds into the over the course of the week, and we're an energetic, enthusiastic, tough physical team on Sunday.
The next is another question. You mentioned Bill Callahan's running background. How do you prepare for that, knowing that you prefer running, nickel and dime sets in your back under your second unit?
Well, he's got every run that's ever been installed. So, you're really preparing for really everything. You mentioned nickel and dime sets, so they've got some 11 personnel runs, they've got some 10 runs, they've got some 12 runs, they got some heavy grouping runs. So we got to really prepare for it all. I don't necessarily think we'd put out a dime grouping to a big personnel grouping. So, but if it happened, and that happens occasionally, we'd have to be able to kind of make the adjustments and play that play. But preparing for Coach Callahan and the myriad of things that they can do in a running game. They're pulling, guards, tackles, centers. There's misdirection. They do a lot. We got to do a good job reading our keys, believing what we see, setting the edge, tackling. It really boils down to basic fundamentals and techniques. So it's going to be tough. He's a good coach, and they do a good job in the run game. So we need to be ready.
Do you look at individual matchups, maybe like that one, the Washington run offense versus your run D, and say that could be the deciding matchup for this game?
Everything could be the deciding matchup. That's kind of how I look at it. Every play counts, and I'm not exactly sure which one it's going to be. It could be the run game, it could be the pass game, it could be a one-on-one matchup with a tackle and an end. It could be a one-on-one on a punt return. I'm not necessarily sure. We try to hit them all, and we try to be precise and execute every one of them. Because I'm not necessarily sure, and I've coached in a lot of games where there's a play in the kicking game, a play offensively, a play defensively. It's in the first quarter, the third quarter. It's a onside kick. I mean, it could be anything. So we try to prepare and put our guys in the best position to execute and play at a high level on really every snap. Because I'm not necessarily sure which one is going to be. That's the difference between winning and losing. So that's kind of always been my approach. I think it'll always be that way.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.